So, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Frugal Finance. Just wanted to do a quick video today on Cineworld Group. So, I've invested, arguably as a percentage of the portfolio, reasonably heavily into Cineworld Group. Now, the reason for that is I believe that when I purchased the shares, they were quite low. They were around about 60 odd p. It's not actually the lowest they've been. They did get a little lower earlier in the year, last year, down to about 28p when they first initially decided that they were going to close their doors until further notice. Now, I think I've mentioned on previous videos, I'm personally quite optimistic that that was a good business decision for them to close their doors permanently rather than do any sort of half-hearted thing. The issue that I've got long term is whether or not there'll now be a kind of shift away from going to the cinema, but in reality, I think people will have a bit of a pent up demand for going out and enjoying themselves and doing those social experiences, some of which will be going out with their kids and so on and to the cinema. And obviously anybody that's signed up for subscription services, some monthly cinema passes, that kind of thing, will probably want to use those things again. And obviously you have got a whole bunch of movies which are due to come out, and it's nice to see that they haven't gone straight for the straight for Netflix or Sky kind of releases. So things like Fast and Furious, James Bond films. I mean, there's loads of others. I'm not a big film buff myself, but there is quite a few in the pipeline. And I feel that the stock itself personally is undervalued. I don't see it getting much further above what it was sort of before the pandemic, really. This kind of area here, crushing down there. I mean, in reality, I think it would do well if it gets back much above £1, really, maybe slightly higher, maybe it's kind of £1.20. That's my long-term outlook. But for me, potentially at £1.20, that's almost 100% return, doubling my money essentially. But even if it only gets to £1, it's still a pretty decent uprise. And you can see of late, I mean, I'm up 13%. It was at 20 last week, and it's kind of come down a little bit. If you look at the weekly view, it reached a high of about 70-80p. Back up here somewhere, 77p. It's come down slightly since then, but sort of relatively stable. So I think for me personally, it's a reasonably good buy. Whether I'll hold it long term or not, I don't really know. I will continue to monitor the situation with cinemas. I do feel like they're kind of a niche thing. They're not as maybe as popular as they used to be, but in today's market, I think it's a nice venue for people to go and see cinemas. So to some degree, it will probably depend on what the filmmakers decide to do long term, whether they go straight for release instantly or they use the cinema. And I would like to hope that they probably support the cinemas to some degree. So that's my sort of thoughts on that. Obviously, this is really only my personal opinion, and this is just a guy on YouTube, and it's my views and things, so it's for entertainment purposes only. You need to do your own research into stocks because they can lose considerable money. I mean, this could crash down to like 1p a share or something, and I lose all this 300 quid pretty much, or they could decide they've gone bankrupt. Many different things can happen, so you need to be careful and need to take your own, do your own research or take your own advice. So don't just copy me. So as I say, these are just literally just my thoughts. Having said that, if you do want to start investing, there is a link down below in the description where you can once you've deposited some money, you get a free share with Trading 212, and that can be valued up to £100. So it's basically up to £100 worth of free money once you've traded on Trading 212. So you sign up, set up an account, and then use the link below to do that. And then once you've deposited money, you get a free share. essentially. There's also various other links to various things like Vox Pop Me and so on, where you can do free surveys and get paid for those. So please do check out below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.